Hey, nerdy sports fan, we're talking week 16 NFL action. The Thursday night games are gone, and we have a three-pack of Saturday games this week, which is weird. Pretty glad that my team's playing a later matchup, so at least I get a chance to watch some of it. So, the Houston Texans are going on the road to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is a weird spot in their schedule and a very dangerous spot in their schedule. Their direct matchup for winning the division is Tennessee. They just played them in Tennessee. They're about to play them in Houston, and sandwiched in the middle is this game with a dangerous Buccaneers team. Now, if the Bucs had been playing this way all season long, they honestly could have contended for the division. They're playing that well right now. Houston's in trouble. Now, Vegas has them 2.5-point favorites. That's a little weird. If you look on ESPN for this game highlight, they have most of the country thinks Tampa's going to win this. Not by much. It is sort of a 54-46 spread. But that says something. So Houston's defense is not very good, especially since J.J. Watt got injured. They've essentially had to track meet teams in order to beat them. And Tampa's not a team you normally want to track meet against. They've got one of the best passing offenses in the league. They're not so great on the running side. They're great at stopping the run. They're not so good at stopping the pass. So it's a weird sort of balance with Tampa. But they kind of mesh up with everything you want to do to beat Houston. But their deficiencies are weird. So Houston has dynamite wide receivers, a highlight reel quarterback, and they're going up against the worst pass defense in the league. The absolute worst. If Tampa's running attack was just a bit better, I would say this is a slam dunk for Tampa to win. Because Houston's defense, their passing defense, they only give up 10 less yards in the passing game than Tampa does. They're not much better. And their rushing defense is way worse. Way worse. They're giving up like 40 yards a game more on the ground than Tampa is. So if Tampa had a bit better offensive line or a bit better running back room, I would say this is a slam dunk win for them. But they don't. And they can't necessarily take as strong advantage of the passing defense deficiencies that Houston has because Mike Evans is injured. So they really have to lean on Godwin. They have to game plan to push more through their talented tight end room. It's disappointing to me watching their disuse of two extremely talented tight ends. Because look at what Lamar Jackson's doing. 3 stout tight ends, and they're track meeting people. They're just demolishing people. They changed the offense to fit the talent on the team. They haven't really done that in Tampa. They need to change the staff to fit what they want to do on offense. Now, that's an old school mentality, and with Bruce Arians, it's worked in the past. But if they had just adjusted to what they have, maybe we'd have a better outcome this season in Tampa. So I do see that they're going to have to shift things more towards the tight ends because of Evans' injury. But I'm not sure they're really willing to invest all in on that, because we haven't seen it all season. They do want the running game to work. They don't have good running backs. They don't have the offensive line for it. So they've had to rely on Winston going hero mode in the second half and just lighting up the scoreboard and going, Madden style and throwing the ball all over the place. But that only works when you have just truly dominant wide receivers. And when you have Godwin and Evans both on the outside, great. Evans is gone. Godwin's left, sure, but most defensive coordinators can take out one wide receiver. It's up to you to figure out what you're going to do when they do that. So taking out one wide receiver generally means a little bit of scheme witchcraft. So if you just have a solid corner on them and a safety over the top in that general area at all times, you're pretty much going to shut most players down. There's very few that are above that. Julio Jones can still produce. On the opposite side of the football here, Hopkins can still produce with consistent double coverage. Can Godwin? We'll see. He's great. He's got a lot of targets this year. He's put up a lot of numbers, but he hasn't necessarily had to be the guy in double coverage without Evans on the other side. So we'll see what happens there. Personally, I think the passing game on both sides is the matchup here. Houston's got a much better running game, but Tampa's run defense is amazing. So it's going to be a non-factor. It's going to be passing offense versus passing offense. Which defense is worse? And Tampa's defense is worse. They don't have their guy to take advantage of Houston's deficiency as well. So I'm leaning towards Houston here. Deshaun Watson doesn't throw the interceptions that Jameis Winston does. And he can use his legs better. He's better with the room full of targets that he has. So I just think there's enough of an edge for Houston with Tampa's deficiencies to, this will be a very, very interesting game, but Houston should win. This is kind of a trap game for them. It really is. I have Houston winning this. I have Tampa covering. Just money. I bet Tampa all day. Because they're an electric offense that can take advantage of the deficiencies of Houston's defense. And there's a serious chance that they can win this because of that. So I'm betting Tampa all freaking day. But real football thoughts coming in. Offensive line play is better on the Texans side. Not as good as it should be, but definitely better. And the defense is more well-rounded. So I just think they have a handful of just barely better than kind of situations in that locker room. And better leadership from the quarterback and coach at this point in what they've got going on. They've been together longer. Just enough of an edge for Houston to find a way to win. But again, I bet Tampa all day. As far as fantasy football goes, you need to start Godwin. Nothing Houston can do will keep that guy out of the stat line. Rashad Perriman, Watson, definitely leave on the bench. Any offensive coordinator worth his salt is going to transition the game plan towards the tight ends as receiving targets. Whether that works for Jameis Winston remains to be seen, but I would say O.J. Howard definitely gets a bump up as the new number 2 target in this offense. So, if you really need to win your fantasy football finals, Howard's a guy to have. He's going to do much better than he usually does, and he's extremely talented. So, but Watson and Winston are both home run hitters this week. So if you have either of them on your roster, they need to be the start, because neither team can stop the pass really well at all, and this is going to be a pinball machine game. So you need to start Watson and Winston. If you're going up against either one of them, I'm sorry. It's going to be a bad day for you. So that's what I got for this one. Check out the rest of my videos for more fantasy football advice. And, hit like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, guys. Thanks.